Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff, the business guru, coming to you from downtown Manila on a Saturday morning. Yes, a Saturday. I'm prepared to do what it takes. Are you prepared to do what it takes? I've got a very, very interesting guest today, especially for all you men out there. And let me pick up my little iPad over here, and I'll give you some information about this gentleman. His name is a very unusual name, I might add. His name is Hollis J. Pirkey, and his current role is the president and speaker coach, and company name MFAC Speaking Coaching. Industry, business speaking coaching. Been doing this forever, but 3 years very seriously. Brief description: I solve workplace anger, and there's plenty of that out there, I can assure you. I have an upcoming summit, The Modern Man, Strength in a New Era, how modern men lead with clarity and control. Right, personal motto or philosophy: reach for your higher self and live that philosophy person every day. Interesting fact, I was an award-winning writer, producer, and director, interviewed Jack Welch for three for 5 years. I love the outdoors. Yeah, well, let's get out there and do things, guys. That's the idea. Action gets traction. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Hollis. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you?
Going fantastic. Every day is great. Tell us about your journey all those years ago, and what made you decide to pursue your current career path? What happened?
Well, I had an anger issue for about 50 years, and that anger issue was
Yep.
unresolved. I didn't really know why I was angry. I didn't know what the whole point was.
Yeah.
And when I saw my anger being modeled through my anger to my kids and how it came back to me.
Oh, yeah.
In the form of very similar to my anger. I
Yeah.
realized at that point I've got to change. So
Yeah.
then I realized, okay, now I have to change my life. I have to figure out what this anger is all about. I had been in therapy for 30 years, and none of it had really gotten to the point of what my anger is. So I realized I need to do some research on really finding out where
Yeah.
this anger is coming from.
Hmm.
So as I look back into my past, I realized as a child, I didn't trust my parents. I didn't trust adults. I didn't trust my siblings.
Yeah.
So as I researched what other children are like that have that kind of background, I
Yeah.
found that there were a lot of people who had absent parents.
Right.
And what happens is at a very young age, in your first few days of life, when you're held by that nurse, by that parent, by that loved one that cares about you, you naturally create a way to regulate your emotions. But if you
Yeah.
don't have that, if you go for a day or two in that very important first few days, you go for many hours without being held, you lose that ability to regulate your emotions. And that's what I realized that was about me. So from that point of view, it began to change my life, and wrote my book. And I said, okay, now I've written my book. I want to take this book and help others deal with their anger problems, teach them how to channel that anger into something positive.
Pretty cool. Great story. I love that. And
Thank you. Appreciate that.
what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how are you overcoming that?
Um, well, the most challenging thing has been, really was learning how to deal with that anger and learning how to channel it. I mean, once I realized what the anger was, then I had to really focus on where I'm going with it and how I'm going to control my life and move forward
Mhm.
with the techniques that I learned. So that was probably the single most challenging thing was getting back in life, because after I had sabotaged my life in so many ways, I realized that I had hurt a lot of people. So in some ways, like an alcoholic, I wanted to go back and apologize to a lot of these people
Yeah.
for the way I treated them. And
Yes.
so I kind of went on a tour to do that, and it brought up a lot of past stuff. So
Awesome.
it was a
Awesome.
challenge, but hey, it was okay because it worked out.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. Tell us an important moment in your career that you personally decided to change direction. What happened?
Well, so this is kind of a funny story. Some years ago, I was laying on the hospital bed. I was just about to go in and have a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And in the midst of me laying there, the doctor had just, or the nurse had just put the medication into my body, and I was
Yep.
beginning to get drowsy, and my phone rings,
Oh,
and my phone is like right next to me.
yeah.
So I grab my phone because, I'm not out yet. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, okay, this is an important client. I want to respond to him.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like this, like I'm going to lose it. And the doctor is looking at me going, you can't be serious. The nurse is ready to literally kick me off the table. And the doctor says, can you please put down the phone? And I'm like, oh, no, I got to answer this phone. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he says, sir, your calling is more important than that call. Well, it turned out that phone call was from a client who was having a disaster. And what was the disaster? His Facebook ad was disallowed.
Right.
Oh my God. I went, so, I couldn't think anymore. But when I woke up, I realized what had happened. And then
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I cannot be this available anymore. And by being this available, I'm basically telling everybody I'm free at any time. That
Yeah.
is like the worst thing you can do as a business person. You
Yeah.
need to establish better boundaries. So it was I came away from that realizing I need to create better boundaries so I can take care of myself, take care of the loved ones, and treat my clients even better.
Yeah. I'm laughing. I had the colonoscopy. I had them both. I'm not sure what the other one's called, but they put one down your throat and one up your bum. I had them both.
Yeah, yep.
And the funny thing, I had it done in a Malaysian hospital, and when I came out, that I kid you not, they gave me. I went home and weighed it. They gave me 5 kg worth of drugs. This is the system for you guys. They gave me
Wow.
5 kg. I had 6 packets of this and 8 packets of this and 10 bottles of this, right? All this bloody stuff. And I went across the road to a chemist across the road. In there, it's called Watson's. To the chemist,
Mhm.
and I had a look. And I kid you not, bloody hospitals, they love to gouge you, right? In the chemist shop, they were half the price of the hospital, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that it's even
And,
less
that,
than
and, that's,
that.
and that's why they loaded me up, guys. They loaded me up with
Yeah.
5 kg worth of shit I didn't need, right?
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah. Everything in a hospital is
yeah,
outrageously priced.
yeah, it's a system, guys. So be aware of the system. Tell me, Hollis, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success? What do you believe they are?
Well, I think one of them is persistence, and another one is determination. And I think the third one is just having an interest to really help other people.
Yeah,
That has really become my number one thing now is a real goal to try to help 500,000 people around the world deal with
nice.
their anger.
Yeah, I love that. That's an awesome goal, my friend. And I'd say
Thank you.
also your ability to analyze yourself and to not take yourself so seriously. That's what's helped you so considerably to change, all right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And now you realize, right? Right.
Yes, yes.
And I tell people all the time, look at you people out there, the average person, say 45, 50, they get divorced and they go, oh, woe is me. No, you're about to start your real life. You had your practice
Oh,
run.
yeah,
Your second time around
absolutely.
is always so much better, right? Because you've made all
Yes,
the
it
mistakes
is.
the first time, right? If you're smart, you learn from them. Tell me, Hollis, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field like you're doing?
Um, well, since I'm in this field of anger and I like to be called the anger guy, not
Right?
the angry guy, because I was the angry guy, but I'm not the angry guy anymore. Now I'm
Yeah.
just the anger guy. But in today, with all this power of AI, there has been a fair amount of new trends happening in learning how to deal with anger and coming up with new techniques to deal
Yeah.
with anger. So I
Yeah.
love to keep aware of what's going on in psychology today and in other fields. As an example, I read a book recently that is called Positive Intelligence, and I
Wow.
found it to be really interesting. So, not to pitch his book or anything, but I love the fact that he talked about as a children, we have saviors, and as we grow up, those saviors become saboteurs.
Right.
And any one of us could have anywhere between 1 to 10 different voices in our head that represent those saviors. I was fascinated by the book
Yeah.
and do recommend it.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a cool story about the system. My daughter, I put my two children, my two daughters, into one of the best girls' schools in Australia. Very expensive, of course. Anyway, I wanted to have what I didn't have. I wanted to have a good education. So my daughter is got told to do a what they call in Australia composition or essay, and the essay was about superheroes. Anyway, she goes to school. She's written her essay, goes to school, and she gets an F, which is a fail, right? And the reason she got the F because she's supposed to write about a superhero. You ready? She wrote about her dad.
Oh my gosh,
The school
that's
failed.
terrible.
Exactly. The school failed her, the system. The school failed her because you were supposed to write about Superman or Batman, a real hero.
Not about a real hero, right?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
sick is that? How sick is
Yeah,
that?
that's demented.
Well, they weren't in that school. The next week they were out of that school. They weren't there anymore. I pulled them out. It's just a sick
Yes.
system. Right? I was
Yeah,
laughing
it is
about it.
crazy.
But I
Right.
went down there pretty angry. And speaking of angry, I can't think of it, the name of it now. But there's that you would have seen it, I'm sure. There's a comedy show about a gentleman on a plane. He's on a plane and he's trying to just do something basic. And they say, "Oh, don't be so angry, sir." And then another guy gets up and tases him. And the whole I think it might even be called Anger Management, the movie. It's a great movie. I think it's I got
Oh yeah, that's
Alan Sander.
with Adam Sandler
Yeah,
and not Robert De Niro, but who was the
it might have
oh
been
gosh.
someone like that. Yeah.
Well, it was Jack Nicholson.
That's right. Jack, he's so cool, Jack. He's so bloody cool. I met Jack in LA. He's so cool. But yeah, that was a good movie, wasn't it? Anyone that hasn't
Yeah,
watched
that was hilarious.
it's called Anger Management. I suggested to any of you guys, you'll find it on YouTube or somewhere. It's an awesome movie. It's a lot of fun. It's about
Yeah.
about real life. And Jack is so good in that role. Um, tell us tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of, my friend.
Um, well, I'll just go with a client that I worked with that
Mhm.
really succeeded in working with me. So he's a guy named Jake. He carried a lot of anger. He
Mhm.
was angry at work, and he'd take the anger home, and
Yeah,
his wife would he would dump his anger on his wife and his kids. And
yeah,
this had been going on for a number of weeks, a number of months. And finally, I can't even remember exactly who contacted me. I think it was as his administrative assistant in the company contacted me and asked me to come in and talk to him.
Mhm.
And so I came and I talked to him. We had about a 15-minute conversation, and he said, "Okay, I'd be willing to kind of dive into my anger stuff and hire you. So let's schedule it." And so I go in there and we working for about a couple months, and he's stuck. He
Yeah,
gets to a point and he just doesn't want to go any farther. And I keep saying, "Okay, Jake, we've covered this ground a few different days now. We need to go deeper than this. Tell
yeah,
me about the problem that you're having with your wife." He goes, "Well, I'm, I really don't want to tell anybody this, but the fact of the matter is I'm really scared that my wife's going to leave me." And I said, "Does this have to do with your anger?" And he says, "Yes, it has. I believe it has anything to do with it." And I said, "Well, let's touch about anything going on in your past, anything from your childhood that you haven't really touched on."
yeah,
And he kind of goes, green in the face, and he's looking like he's going to get sick, and he's like, "Oh my God, I just had this realization that when I was a child, my father left and I took responsibility. I felt it was my fault. I thought my dad left because of me."
yeah,
And I said, "Wow, okay, let's dig into that. Let's talk some more about it." So the more we talked about it, the more I realized that he had taken on this role of being responsible for his father leaving, which of course is not correct at all. He has
mhm,
no control over his father.
yeah,
But now what he was doing in that adult state, he was transferring that anger and that disappointment and that fear
yeah,
into his wife.
Yeah.
And he was feeling like his wife was going to leave him for the same reason. So I was like, okay, now we have something we can talk about. You need to go home and tell your wife this.
Yeah.
So he goes home and he struggles to tell her, but he finally says, "Sweetheart, I really love you. I'm really scared that you're going to leave me." And what I was doing was projecting my fear
Yeah.
of my childhood experience onto you, thinking you're going to leave me if I keep getting angry. And she goes, "Wow, thank you so much. You finally opened up." I was just about to leave. We were within days. I was
Wow.
literally scheduling a time to leave with the kids, and then we were just going to leave one day when you're at work and let you know
Wow.
later. And so we were able to
Wow.
solve that issue before it got worse.
Yeah.
He's now with her again, and they've found new ways to reinvent the relationship,
Yeah.
and they're back on a really great path. So
Yeah.
that's a really great win for me and a great win for my client.
Absolutely. Even saving one's a great win, isn't it? Bloody
Yes,
amazing.
absolutely.
Amazing
Hmm.
story. Right. Tell me, what advice a 20-year-old comes to you, and it might be a son, a daughter, a niece, or a nephew. And they say, I've just left school. What should I do with myself? What would your advice be?
Well, I would say the first thing you really need to do is to ask yourself who you are
Mm,
and what you really want. And don't answer the question that the system has given you. Go
mm,
deep into yourself, find out who you really are and what makes you tick, what's
mm.
important to you. And if you're not sure about that, then look at how you spend your time.
Yeah.
I mean, break your day down and how do you spend most of your day? Is it work? Is it
Yeah.
self training to make yourself better? Is it getting stoned? Is it drinking? Is it playing
Yeah.
sports or anything to avoid whatever is important? Really focus on yourself. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. I'd say trust yourself. If you're 20, you boys and girls out there, if you're 20, remember you can stuff up for 10 years and still only be 30. You've got the rest of your life ahead of you. So
Yes,
go
yes.
out there and find your passion. And I'd suggest travel. And my other advice to you, once you do find something you think you really like, get a mentor because they can, like someone like Hollis, they can shave years off the journey for you. So
Oh, yes.
get a mentor, right?
Very good. Jeff, I love that.
Tell me, looking ahead, you're only at base camp in this journey. What are your hopes and goals and aspirations for the future moving forward?
Well, my hopes and goals are to be on as many stages as I can to talk
Yes.
about what my expertise is, to talk about anger, and to literally help 500,000 people around the world deal with their anger issues, and so they can make their life better. And in the process of doing that, to help them raise their consciousness level,
Mm,
because that's one of the things that occurs, and I'm sure Jeff, you're familiar with this. When you start working on yourself, you realize that there's only one way, and that is for me to raise my consciousness level
yeah,
and deal with the world on a higher level, so you offer more to the world that way.
fair enough. We're about to wrap this up shortly, but how can people watching this wonderful podcast and listening to you, how can they reach out and find out more about you and your unique services? What's the best way?
The best way would be to go to my website, angerchanneling.com.
Mm,
And if there is anybody interested in the men's summit coming up April 22nd, 23rd,
mm,
I do have information on my website that will allow them to sign up for it and see what it's all about.
mm.
Or check me in LinkedIn and look for Hollis Pirkey. I'm just on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, and I am constantly, posting things there.
I'll be surprised if it's more than one Hollis Perky, but let's have a look together.
As far as I know, there is not one. Now, my middle name is Jeff,
Right. Wow.
like yours, but with one F. And
Right.
there is a gentleman named Jeff Perkey.
Right.
I have not met him, but I have we've kind of crossed paths. He lived in Denver for a while. I think he
Yeah.
went to college here. I'm not exactly sure, but
Mhm.
yes, Hollis Perkey. I should be the only one.
Yeah. And guys, 15 minutes of fame, as you can see, it's like talking to a friend. And that's exactly what it is. And every one of you out there has got a story, and none of you have ever gone in a straight line. You think you're never going to go in a straight line, guys. It's up and down as life is. You learn from the experiences. So the challenge to you is reach out, come on 15 minutes of fame and tell your story. And then what we'll do with that story, we'll turn it into a mini movie all about you. And then we'll put it on Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook group, YouTube, and our new school channel, and put you in front of hundreds of prospects. And at your end, you do the same. You go on LinkedIn and say, I was interviewed by the guru. This is what we said. It's evergreen. So keep using it, guys. Use it as a platform to get more clients and help more people. Hollis, before we wrap it up, which we're about to do, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
A fun fact about myself. Let's see. Well, one of my favorite job back in the film business was working with the National Park Service, where I made over 70 different visitor center films, and I totally loved it. Being out in nature, going out there, all these places, and national parks in the U.S. have become drive-through parks. So it was a really nice thing to do.
So you found your passion, my friend. All right, we're about to wrap this up. Any last words for our audience?
I suggest that people listen to 15 Minutes of Fame in the Business Gurus, because Jeff has got a great thing going on here, and let's expand his world so we can see it everywhere.
That's it. Thanks for your kind words, my friend. Have an awesome day.